Hi, everybody. This is Alan Fine. I'm here today with Katina Athanasiou, who is the Chief Sales Officer for Norwegian Cruise Line. We've had her on Insider Travel Report before, only there wasn't a pandemic at the time. And so we're going to talk about the future of travel, and this is Insider Travel Report. All right, Katina, how are you? Where are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much. And I am home in South Florida and living the new current TBD normal as we all work remotely.
So you're commuting to work, which is like the bedroom to where are you now? The living room?
Past the laundry room every now and again. I really try to stay out of the kitchen because that has not been good for me this pandemic.
I know. Well, no, it's the buffets that we're not going to be getting on the ship anymore has been at home as we nibble and pick. Am I wrong?
Exactly.
Okay.
You are not wrong, but I have really tried to be diligent over the last 2 days.
So let me ask you, how has Norwegian Cruise Line been dealing with the crisis? It's now, I can't even believe I'm saying 4 months.
I am in denial that it's been that long, to be honest. It's really flown by. And, this unprecedented event really took all of us, the world, by surprise. It's tested many of the current protocols that we have in place globally, and not just within our industry, everywhere. It's tested everywhere and everyone. We've had to work through new situations that have been extraordinary. But in spite of all of that, I will tell you that including the temporary, we've been able to raise, as you know, an additional approximately $2.4 billion in liquidity, putting us really in a solid position to move forward. We're excited and
Right.
very
We
anxious.
we were cheering for you. We wanted to hear that. It's huge.
Yes, and we're very excited to be able to welcome and can't wait to welcome our guests and our travel partners back on board our ships one day very soon.
What cruises have you had to cancel outright? I know that the Alaska season, the Mediterranean season, and Hawaii. Let's talk about that. Then let's talk about getting back into cruising again. But just the cancellations. What was that like?
So our current voyage suspension is for across all of our fleet on Norwegian Cruise Line for sailings that embark through July 31st at this time. Despite the further delay that we had through the end of July, we remain optimistic and expect to definitely relaunch operations in the very near future. But as of today, we're through the end of July.
So then when you get back to cruising, what do you think the first cruises will be?
It's still an unknown. There are a lot of requirements and things that have to be right in order for us to relaunch. As we know, there's a current no sail order. And so we are working very closely with multiple government and health authorities. We have to have approval first, of course, from the CDC. Ports have to open up across the world and welcome various guests. Airports have to open across the world. International flights have to fly. There's so many variables. So to answer that question, I don't have an answer yet. We work on it daily, but we hope very soon.
Well, we're all following that too, trying to figure out where the lift is and which airline we like the way they're doing their protocol. We're all in that boat together. How has NCL been working with travel advisors on the rebookings, the cancellations, and the refunds? What percentage of guests have opted for the future cruise credit, and as opposed to canceling?
Yeah, we've been incredibly supportive of our travel partner community and remain incredibly supportive. This is a huge distribution, the largest for us, and for us, it's important that we remain supportive during this time. During the temporary pause that we've had, we've continued to engage with them. And one of the things with respect to the future cruise credits that we've received a ton of praise for, and we appreciate the feedback because every time we've gotten a bit better, is how quickly we have been able to provide the future cruise credits to our travel partners and their guests. We have, with every time we've had to do this, unfortunately, there have been more than one, but we've learned on some processes and been able to really work to get them quickly. So this last suspension that we had, that again goes through currently the end of July, we were able to provide all of the future cruise credits within 24 hours to our guest profiles, which has proven incredibly beneficial to our travel partners. We have also been first to market to our travel partners to provide them all of their list of future cruise credit holders so that they can begin immediately to continue the engagement and communication with their guests and talk through their choices and options. And, you know, during this time, everybody has been and remains in a very different place, not only our travel partners, but our guests as well. So the message that we've been working with our travel partners is to remain engaged and communicate with your guests. And when their guests are ready to have these conversations, they have the ability to be able to talk either about future cruising, about our health and safety, about what, you know, their situation may be. Everybody's in a different space, and that's been my one piece of advice to travel partners, is to make sure that we remember it's not one size fits all. And we have to, this is where the relationships between travel partner and guest really comes into play and really matters.
I actually, you know what, I was hearing that your support of travel advisors has been unusually quick. Can you tell us more about that?
You know, I have to give enormous kudos to our passenger services and our guest services team led under Caddy Bird. Our hold times, our speed of answer, and the knowledge that we have of our frontline agents has been tremendous. And we have had so many travel advisors send us messages of thanks for just answering the phone within seconds. And the mere notion of being able not only to answer the phone in seconds, to have frontline agents who are empowered and are knowledgeable and have the ability on the spot to assist our travel partners with their guest bookings has been by far one of the greatest feelings that I've been able to have, and I can't thank our team enough for being able to build that, especially in this new work remote and work from home environment. They've been able to flip on a dime.
What programs or updates have you introduced into Partners First to help the travel advisors get through this crisis?
So Partners First, as you know, is very important to us at NCL. It definitely remains a philosophy, and our goal is to ensure that we continue to engage and that we continue to help our travel partners' business grow ultimately. This has been a big service time for a lot of our partners, but we've seen over the last several weeks that the service conversation has started to shift a bit into new cruise and new opportunities, which has been fantastic. We have supported our partners by being one of the first to continue to protect commissions, not only on the canceled cruises that we had from suspensions, but also on the future cruise credits. We provided bonus commissions for our travel partners to be able to, when they rebooked their FCCs, so they had not only the standard commission, but bonus commissions. We provided some incentives also for their guests to be able to reuse and rebook their future cruise credits. So we've really worked diligently to be able to provide training materials, education, and great feedback to them to be able to have those conversations, as well as incentives to have them rebook.
What were the percentages of those, we're looking for that optimism here, cancellation versus the future, the FCC, how about that?
Yeah, we've been about a 50-50 and in terms of FCC versus refund. And so we've really seen a big push right at the beginning of people that have really wanted the value of the 125%. That 25% on a vacation is really huge, especially for people that have been saving and interested in making sure that they can take their vacation. So that was why for us it was important to get our FCCs loaded quickly, so our travel partners could see the value, our guests could see the value. We communicated to both what that value, actually the dollar amount was, so they could see the difference. And that made a big push for our guests to make the call on keeping the FCC value, because they realized that it was significant.
Actually, do you have voyages listed for 22?
We do. We opened up our new deployment and extended actually through the winter of 23 for some of our ships. For the first time, we're visiting all 7 continents. So this has been a great opportunity. And our FCCs, I think this is a differentiator for us across the market. Our FCCs are applicable for voyages all the way through the end of 22. So for us, being able to extend not only the usage and time period for the FCCs and now having all of our deployment open through the end of 22 really allows our guests and our travel partners to have that conversation about making sure that bucket list destination can be utilized.
So you're starting to see the bookings out to 22?
We definitely heavy on 21, but what we've seen is, again, those bucket list destinations. Antarctica has been very popular, and we're visiting Antarctica, something new that we introduced as well. So we've started to see interest in making sure that those one-off destinations and those bucket lists, as I said, are memorialized for our guests. So yes, into 22, we're definitely seeing.
So now let's move over to what new protocols has NCL introduced into the Sail Safe to get customers more comfortable with cruising? What will change with the cruise experience?
Great question. So, as part of our consumer research to enhance our already stringent health and safety protocols, we, of course, discovered that a good portion of respondents really wanted to make sure that they could choose the cruise line that had the highest safety standards, very important and top of mind for all of our partners and guests. So we have created and just have the start of a wave of new technologies and new things that we're going to introduce, but we recently introduced our new Sail Safe program that falls under our peace of mind. And with that, we've created 6 key areas of health and safety that will be implemented fleet-wide. It's the start of, I suspect, an evolution that will continue under the Sail Safe program. But these 6 pillars are really about what we'll do on board and on shore to ensure the health and safety of our guests.
Well, can we go into a little detail?
Of course. So falling under our peace of mind, I can definitely tell all of our travel advisors to ensure that they review our website frequently, ncl.com/peace of mind, where you can find the latest protocols. But the 6 key areas of health and safety that we introduced last week, first are enhanced screening protocols for our guests and crew. Second is our all-new air filtration system. Third is our increased sanitation measures. Fourth is responsible social distancing. 5th is the enhanced medical resources with the announcement of a brand new position across all of our ships to include a public health officer. And 6th is the extended ship-to-shore safety.
The number 1 was which?
Enhanced screening protocols for guests and crew.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
So all guests and crew will continue to undergo extensive pre-embarkation health screening. There'll be touchless temperature checks, continuous monitoring of guests and crew throughout the voyage. Checks will also occur prior to embarkation and disembarkation, upon returning to the ship in a port of call, prior to meals and dining venues. And the biggest thing, and we had a webinar last week that we talked about, is we definitely continue or plan to have this be an evolution. So this is our kind of first phase into our Sail Safe program. So many answers are still, or many questions rather, are still being worked through at the detailed level, and we'll continue to provide that.
But I think it's also you've always been a partnership with your cruisers and with your travel advisors, and the dialogue will continue and the research will continue, and so it will evolve.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's happened to NCL's private island and private destination experiences during this time, and what are your plans?
So both Great Stirrup Cay and Harvest Cay continue to be paramount for us as we operate and begin to relaunch. We still have staff, dedicated and that are there, and they are very excited to be able to welcome our guests back as soon as we're able to resume cruising.
So you haven't really done any planning, but obviously whatever protocols you put in force on the ship will then migrate to land.
They will absolutely extend to our private islands, absolutely. So ensuring that we remain thoughtful about responsible social distancing and how we have the protocols and increased sanitation measures that will absolutely extend to our private island destinations.
So what's happened to NCL's planned new build program? We didn't think you had a ship coming this year, but we know the Leonardo class is supposed to maybe come next year. Is that on schedule? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, at this time, we don't have any updates with respect to it being delayed or not. So we're planning on schedule. I suspect that, you know, as soon as we get updates, we will absolutely share them, obviously, but we don't have any updates that would change.
Okay. What should travel advisors be doing right now and saying to their clients so that they have the confidence to cruise again?
Great question. I'll tell you again, the role of the travel advisor today has never been more important. Now is the time to remain engaged with them. And now is the time for, of course, education, because that customer is relying on our travel advisors to be educated with what's going on in the industry, with new protocols that are going to be in place. And more than ever, that consultative approach and discussions that happen between advisor and guest is going to be appreciated. There's a lot of noise out there. So it's imperative for our travel partners to remain engaged. And it's imperative that they work to, again, make sure it's not one size fits all conversation, and that they start out with the knowing that health and safety remains top of mind for everybody, and then explain how Norwegian has answered this initial question and how our evolution will begin and continue with Sail Safe, and having the confidence to, we have on our marketing headquarters, we actually have a course for our travel partners to become educated and kind of certified, if you will, on our new Sail Safe program. And as we continue to evolve in these protocols and the messaging, we'll update that module for all of our travel partners as well. And they can then take that information back to their guests.
Now, continuing on this mode of education, do you have any promotions and new itineraries that you want the travel advisors to start to study and learn about?
Great question. So as I mentioned, we announced our launch of our new deployment all the way out till early 2023. So there's a lot of new itineraries. We do have information available in marketing headquarters that provides not only education, but flyers and collateral and customizable assets that our travel partners can use for their guests.
And do you want them to be aware of any promotion?
Absolutely. Every Sunday, we communicate via our travel partners through an email called the Weekly Wave, and we've got a great promotion going on right now that is a balcony promotion. You buy an ocean view for a balcony, and we have an exciting one coming up towards the end of June, but you have to stay tuned to make sure that you're on our email so you know what those are. But remain engaged. We've got such a great community on our Partners First Facebook page, across our email database, and I ask everybody to continue to remain engaged because we provide fun little tidbits.
And also Insider Travel Report.
Of course, because you are able to provide all of our great promotions. I don't want to give too much advance notice, but there are some great things that are coming down the pike, and we're really working to ensure that our travel partners have it in advance so you can prepare as you start to market and as you start to continue to communicate with your guests.
Great. Now, this is your chance. The travel advisors are engaged. They are watching. What's your message to them? What do you want our over 100,000 travel advisors to know?
That we appreciate you more than anything. This distribution channel is incredibly strong, and it will be stronger, and it will be healthy. It will remain healthy. I think if anything that we've learned is we've had to look to do things a little bit differently than ever before, and we've all had to be more flexible and more nimble than ever before. But we appreciate the partnership and the support, and we have no intentions of you going anywhere and you changing. And if anything, we want to make sure that we can help double down on the support and the effort to help you grow your business with NCL.
Well, sincerely, thank you.
And thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share with you and everybody and all of your readership. We really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.